Now it's time to see who is awake and has had their coffee here this morning. So I'm going to do a little bit of an experiment. I want everybody to close their eyes. And I want you to put yourself into a position where maybe you're a parent, or you're a boss, or you're a coworker, or you're someone who has another person, another human being walk up to them and pitch the absolute most craziest harebrained cockamamie idea you have ever heard in your life. Now, my two sons have done this over and over again. The look on my face is probably going to be priceless. But go ahead and everybody open your eyes and look at me and give me that look. Give me that look. We all know the one we're talking about, right? How many times as a parent have you patted your kids on the head and said, yeah, jumping off the garage with a cape is a really good idea, right? We've all been there. But here's the thing. For those of you that are astute, you know that I preached on this last year, and I can't get this out of my head. But here's the twist, here's the difference. In a year, I have come to a different conclusion about this particular gospel. You see, it's quite easy for us to look at Peter and go, really? You want to build tents for the Lord? It's easy for us to be dismissive to that other person, right? Ask yourself the question, what did Jesus do? Do you think he looked at Peter and gave him that idea? Gave him that look? Probably not. So here's another story for you. I have been known in my career to bring to my boss some really harebrained ideas. And one day I caught wind that the Department of Justice was giving grants out. For those of you that don't know, I have a thing for airplanes and especially gyroplanes. Does anybody in here know what a gyroplane is? Somebody. Nobody. Really? Do you know what a gyroplane is? No, but it's a plane that has a helicopter rotor. So it's kind of like this hybrid thing, right? So all of a sudden the Department of Justice says, we will buy your department a gyroplane. We will buy it, we will train everybody, we'll pay for the whole thing. Now gyroplanes run about 25% the cost of a helicopter. I'm looking at this going, my jurisdiction could really use one of these. Not because we really could use one of these, but because I really wanted to fly the thing. So I did my homework. I realized we have a hangar. We have a long runway for this thing. It doesn't need much. It needs 100 feet. Have a perfect spot for it. So I laid everything out for my chief. And God bless him, it was the first time in my life he didn't give me that look. I'll get back to you. Now, if he had said yes, I probably would have been in the news up here. You guys would have all seen this particular jurisdiction having this helicopter thing flying around. So obviously it did not happen. My point here is this. He didn't give me that look right off the bat. I don't think Jesus gave Peter that look. So as we go forward here in the next couple of weeks, I want everybody to do this practical thing. And here's where I messed up from the 8 o'clock Mass, because I forgot to mention what I'm about to tell you guys. So you're getting a little bit different of a homily here than 8 o'clock. There's a point to this story, right? Do not automatically assume when a person comes up to you in the next couple of weeks that their idea is harebrained. God has put that person in front of you. That should be the most important person in the world to you at that moment in time. You know who's really good at doing that? Father. You know who else is really good at doing that? Father Tony. All of the deacons here except for me. I have a hard time doing that. I try so very hard. Why? Because Jesus did the same thing for Peter here today. I keep walking in front of you guys, and I've told you I wasn't going to do that again. We aren't running, he says. I probably couldn't catch you anyways. Point here is this, guys. God put that person in front of you at that moment in time. Pause. Reflect on what they're saying. Be there in the moment with them. It's very important. Now, if you think this is the end of the homily, I've got another thing for you, right? Because here's where I have decided, I have learned, I have come to the conclusion that maybe, just maybe, there's something else going on in this homily here today. And Father Tony and I were talking in the sacristy before the 8 o'clock Mass, and he told me that my deacon mentor Paul talked about the mountain yesterday, how beautiful of a homily it was, that him and his son climbed this mountain. And that is what is going on here today. And it dawned on me, we have 2 very holy priests here. We have 3 very holy deacons here, and we have me. I say it with a straight face because there are times that I just don't feel like I quite fit in. And it hit me this morning because these guys are so holy. They operate like diplomats. They really know how to talk to people. They really know how to mediate. They really know how to do all this. And you know what came to my mind? I'm the warrior in the group. I am the warrior in the group. And for those of you that have heard me talk about Phineas, please, someone raise their hand here and tell me you know who Phineas from Deuteronomy is. Oh, we're going to have a whole nother homily on Phineas. Phineas is this really great guy who did a really stupid thing. He grabbed one of those really big spears and he ran someone through that was trying to get through into the sanctuary. Someone who didn't deserve to be in the sanctuary, that would have defiled it and made it unholy. But that's Phineas' zeal for the Lord. That's how I go through life. I want to grab the pike and I want to run it through people. And God bless Father, because he reins me back in and says, you know, you can't be like Phineas all the time. Today I'm going to be like Phineas, and I'm going to lay it down here for you this way. What did Jesus do today at the top of the mountain? Who appeared? The law and the prophets. He brought Elijah and Moses to the table. Why? Well, here's the warrior in me speaking. Because he was forming his war council. Because the spiritual battle was coming. And maybe, just maybe, Peter knew what was going on, but didn't understand that the battle to come wasn't physical. It wasn't hands on steel. It was spiritual. For you see, the word used in today's gospel that we translate as tent is the same word they used when Joshua, the great general of the Israeli army, the Hebrew army, walked out of his tent. And who did he run into? They didn't call him an angel. They called him a man, a warrior, the general in charge of the army of hosts of God. A lot of scholars believe it was a pre-incarnate visitation by Jesus. So here you have Joshua getting ready to do battle. Jesus shows up. So what do we have here today? We have Jesus getting ready to do battle, and he gathers his men around him. I have been asked this question a couple of times. Why do I constantly preach to the men here? You want to know why? Because men have the highest rates of suicide. You want to know why? Because in a lot of other parishes, not so much here, but there are very few men in the pews. You guys do it right. Look how many men are here today. I preach to the men because God has sent me on a mission. Pardon me for not having the Ray-Bans and the hat that goes with it, but I'm on a mission from God. And I want all the men in here to know this one thing after they leave here today. We've gone soft in this world. This world wants you to go through it alone. Bottle it up. Put it away. How many times have I told my own sons, pull up your big boy pants, right? Maybe that's not always a good thing to say. Because Jesus met with his council. He brought others into the conversation. Men, you can do the same thing today. You could be just like Jesus. You are not doing this alone. If I can impress one thing upon you today, when God calls us, he's not calling perfection. None of us are perfect, me most included in on that list. He is calling us to holiness, and we can't do it alone. Jesus didn't do it alone. He brought in his war council. Yes, we are getting soft, right? A few more pounds on me and maybe a few more hairs up here, you guys would be calling me Friar Tuck. I get it. I get it. But as we move forward in Lent here, men, I want you to do a couple things for me. I want you to go to the gym. I want you to get strong physically, and I want you to get strong spiritually. How? By forming your war council. Finding other men like Phineas that are willing to go to spiritual battle with you. It's important. And for the rest of us, as we move through the week here this week, remember what I said earlier. God is going to put someone in your life with a really big harebrained idea sooner or later. It's going to be sooner than you think. Respond to them like Jesus responded to Peter today. May God continue to bless everybody on their Lenten journey here as we move forward.
Brothers and sisters, together in one voice, let us profess our great faith. I believe in one God, the Father, the Almighty, maker of heaven and earth,